battle, right? Just from the beginning, we saw a crazy amount of action in the level 1. APX essentially getting the best start you could ask for, you know, that early on into the game, and not able to drive that home for a victory.
Reminds me of that 7-minute ace against Cloud9, which you saw last week, but, you know,
you gotta be able to close.
What more could you want? I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about Champion Select a little bit, only because as we look in here, we see the Ekko come out. It was mentioned by Kobe that this has kind of returned to prominence. Well, as I say that, Timo was just picked up on our other stream for the TSM.
Captain Bjergsen on duty.
Are you happy now, Internet? This is what happened.
This is what we've become, Pastry.
Well, that's Timo and Ashe locked in for Team, so
that's 9 weeks of Brazil.
All right, so I've got a little glimpse of the Timo being locked in there. That'll be fun. Go ahead and check that out over on NALCS 1 if you're interested in seeing Timo played in the North American LCS. In the meantime, we've got some really serious League of Legends to break down on this end.
Super serious.
Super serious. No, well, let's be serious.
Yeah.
You get 3 kills at level 1. Well, you should be able to take a 1K gold advantage at 2 minutes.
At level 4, rek'sai had Tiamat to Gragas' merely first jungle item.
Well, I want to just talk about the invade from CLG's perspective, because like it's against the braum. So if you like look at this replay, I don't know why CLG would like opt into fighting this situation. It's just like such a strong level 1. Cassio, Ezreal both phenomenal level 1. Braum's phenomenal level 1. rek'sai's a little weak. Ekko's fine, and then like they try this like weird collapse where they just can't actually get anything done, and then like Shen taunts in, he has to flash out, Ray goes in, and it's just such a bad idea to even try and fight this situation. And as you would expect, with how much stronger their champs are level 1, they're able to take this.
Yeah, I mean, the whole thing just devolved into chaos. But at the end of the day, you know, we return to Crumbs' point about having a Tiamat on your rek'sai at level 4 versus a Gragas who's got a Bomby Cinder, right? I mean,
no, not Bomby Cinder, the little Talus.
Just a 350. Like.
So it's like, I mean, at that point, it's not you're not willing to duel him. You have total control of this game. We saw him pulling him off of camps, off of scuttle crabs, and yet, look what happens. You know, they don't actually really ever extend their gold lead, right? Like they created that gold lead in the first couple minutes, and then it never really grows.
Well, I think the key thing when you're so far ahead is that Apex never really changed the way that they play. They kind of always just play with the exact same way, which is kind of bloody at times. And when you're so far ahead, you have to realize that a death is way more than just, hey, I'm away from the map for 20 seconds. That means you give them room to catch the waves. You give them room to catch the jungle. The vision isn't there. It basically takes off like 2 minutes, and every single death that they had just stalls the game out further and further. And I mean, we even saw at some points just completely over chasing, especially like Xpecial in the bottom lane.
Yeah, they went for like that dive, didn't work out. Okay, turn around, but he just kept going. He gets killed for free. It was just every time that they had something that like didn't work perfectly where they were getting a bunch of kills, it seemed to be bad for them.
Got to remember how much a single death can do in terms of affecting the entire map. Wanted to look at some of the ways in which CLG did get back into the game. 3 for 0 coming in at 25-30, plus the Baron on the back end of the fight.
And it all starts with a nice little error from Stixxay, and I know Paul's got to be a little upset if that one just walks right into that error. And this is a follow-up here with a nice little Bartle. The big thing was that there's a combo time with Xmithie's body slam into Cassiopeia because she still had flash. She could have flashed out of that, but that stun nullifies it, and they're able to really pick off the Baron off this play.
The interruption on the E as well.
I mean, it was literally just 3 Hail Marys that worked back to back, hitting the Ezreal at a weird angle, hitting Cassiopeia with the Gragas, and then
the ultimate onto the rek'sai. They pick up the Baron from there. Okay, now CLG's back to even in gold. We know that this team at these stages in the game can, from a macro sense, execute fairly well. Of course, Apex still had a couple won fights, so showing a lot of fight from that squad.
Right, I mean, that first Baron that they got, almost immediately after they got the Baron, they got in some weird fight topside that ends up 2 for 2. It's not like near a turret or anything. It's just kind of in the middle of the map again. So it's hard to say that CLG was like executing super cleanly, but they just seem to, once they got their foothold back in the game, always be a step ahead of Apex.
All right, but the game did go to 50. That Baron was around 26 minutes,
26,
right?
Yeah.
So essentially, still only, we had that was half the game. We still had 25 minutes left to play. Game-winning fight comes in at 50 minutes. We'll watch that one out real quickly.
Yeah, and I think the key person to watch here is Keane. He gets ulted at first, and all the initiation goes on to him, but it's fine. He gets out okay. This is where Cassio should be happy. She can start melting front line. Doesn't really get into the fight. There's a chase down here, and then he clicks this portal and goes through, and he's just so isolated as HuHi zones the rest of the team with that gravity field, and then Keane goes down for free. It's just such a sad, like, snake, don't go through that. And then he's on the other side.
Snakes like holes.
Yeah. So after Keane goes down, it's just a chase down for the rest of CLG. And it's so hard to defend when you're losing your mid lane carry when the rest of your team's basically tanks. Even though Ray had the Triforce and the Magi or whatever, you're really not that strong. We saw him unable to do anything to Darshan in the side lane, so.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely a threat to the carries with that well-stacked Magi's, but then when it came to duels against Darshan in the 1v1 at the side lane, we saw him make 0 dent.
He just didn't seem that great at all, to be honest. You know, we talking about, did he go Fervor, Grasp of the Undying, the Fervor is supposed to whack Shen a lot. He never really gets a hit Shen. He's just taking the inhibitor right in his face. So maybe a little Gnar would have been a little bit better, offer more CC as opposed to the unreliability from the parallel transversion.
Right, I think on that parallel convergence.
Parallel convergence.
There it is.
Yes,
I think on that point, when we saw the Ekko and the LCK, it was against the GP, who has a weaker laning phase, so he gets ahead of the GP and he's able to bully him really hard. Versus the Shen, he doesn't win early, and then, I mean, Ray played it well in team fights to get a lot of stuff done, but you could have picked a better tank and split pusher and not had the weak early game as well that the Ekko had.
Right.
So I think the Ekko pick, while he played it well, wasn't ideal.
Yeah, you can play a champion to perfection, but if it's in a worse matchup,
yeah,
the other guy doesn't have to play his champion to perfection necessarily to beat you.
Yeah, if a Shen could just sit in front of you and take an inhib turret with a fat wave, then maybe that pick wasn't the best.
Right, doesn't matter how well you play it. All right, player of the game going to Xmithie, 3-2 and 16 as Gragas. You know, in the circumstance where you give up 3 kills at level 1, fairly well, you know.
Well, it's amazing composure from him. When you fall so far behind to the other jungler, and then you find a way to keep your jungle and you need to have your smites on point. We saw him multiple times being able to contest the jungle, outsmite, shrimp, and then look for plays on the bottom side and avoiding where shrimp was and just kind of making plays by himself. Really was a pinnacle for CLG making this comeback.
A lengthy game win for CLG to start out this series against APX. It's time now for a brief program break. When we return, teams retake to the stage for APX's final chance at a playoff berth. Don't go anywhere.